Okay, here we go. Now, of course, we've done 72 enough that everybody should be able to just look at that and tell me that is what?
8.485.
Six radical two.
Okay. 6 radical 2. All right. So again, all right. Basically breaking it down. Does anybody have any questions with 72? All right. You should know by now 72 is 36 times 2, and then break that down. All right. Number 3 is pretty easy. Yep. 6 radical 2. All right. Now take a look at number 5. All right. Let me give you a couple minutes. All right. I'm going to pause for a minute. Okay, 4, question number 5. All right, again, shouldn't be much thought in this. You should recognize there's a square root of 3 in all of those. All right, 12 you should see is 4 times 3, 27 is 9 times 3. So we end up with 4 radical 3 minus 10 radical 3 plus 15 radical 3. Anybody have any questions with how those are broken down? Anybody? So altogether, that's what? Yes, 9 radical 3. Again, if you got to give yourself a little check so you know, all right, what you need to work on. All right, because again, we've worked on this enough that it shouldn't be an issue. All right. Because what's the square root of 4? What's the square root of 4? 2, right? And then there's a 5 out in front. So what do you do with the 2 and the 5? Exactly. These are all bound together by multiplication. All right, so let's take number 7. Do I want you doing 11 times 22? No, I want you to recognize there's a what in 22? An 11. All right, so everybody should look at that and just say there's 2 11s. So that comes out as a what? 11 radical 2.
Oh, I thought you were just like multiply both of them. Like,
Yes, listen, for those of you guys who want to multiply 11 times 22, I don't care. I know that's 242. The problem is now you have to break down 242. You with me? So you don't want to multiply things together. It makes it harder, right? What you're always doing is you're looking for the groups of 2. All right. 22 is 11 times 2. So there are now 2 11s, which come out as a single 11. You with me on that?
yeah.
All right, come on. We got to know how to do that. All right, now for question number 9. Again, you're just breaking it down. How many times have we done 80? A bunch. Everybody should know 80 is what? Yes. All right, everybody should be able to just say, we've done it enough. I know it's 4 radical 5. Now, because there's a 5 here, there's probably a what over here? 5. And that's just what? 7? Yeah, 49 times what? 5. Everybody good with that? And so then we have 7 radical 5. Thank you. And so then the final answer there is just what? -3 radical 5. All right, any issues with that? Anybody? All right, so let's knock out 11, the multiplication now. So again, 3 times 4, 12, smiley face. -4 radical 2, the other smiley face. +3 radical 2. And then square root of 2 times square root of 2 is minus what? -2. Radical 2 times radical 2 is 2. Everybody good with that? And now we're just combining terms. 12 minus 2 is what? Come on. 10. And then what? It's okay. Listen, I don't see you guys. You got to stop. All right. Obviously 12 plus 2, I know what you meant, right? It doesn't matter. So what I'm saying is it's okay to make a little mistake. All right, we're back to sixth grade. All right, just correct and move on. Now, -4 plus 3. -1 radical 2. -1 radical 2. No, of course you don't. All right. All right, flip the page now. More odds. 13, 15, 17, 19, 21. All right, I'm pausing it for 5 minutes. Everybody get to work. All right, let's review. All right, see how you're doing. We'll do next couple. 3 radical 7 squared is what? Someone.
Same as 3 radical 7, 3 radical 7.
So what is that?
9 plus 6 radical 7.
Some of you are. They're 3 radical 7 times 3 radical 7. Come on, guys.
16 plus 6 radical 7.
Where are we getting 16?
Final.
It's 9 times 7, 63. And let's say you don't know that, just type it in on your calculator, parentheses, 3 radical 7, close parentheses, square it, just double check yourself. It's not addition, all right? That's why you're not doing where you're multiplying them out. There's no addition sign. You're squaring them individually, all right? Yeah, exactly. You're not, there's no addition or subtraction. So that is the same as 3 squared times the square root of 7 squared. That's what that's the same as. All right, so you made a mistake. Correct your mistake right now. All right, let's look at 15. Now breaking all these down, obviously there's 5s in here. So 4 radical 20, everybody should be able to tell me is the same as 8 radical 5 minus 5 radical 5. There you have it. And after all that, we have a what? What? I'm not sure why you're not getting 0. 8 minus 5 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So there are 0 radical 5s, which is the same as 0. Anybody have any issues with that?
How'd you get 8 radical 5?
Because 20 is the same as 4 times 5. And the square root of 4 is what?
Oh.
2, right?
Yeah.
There's a 4 out in front. That makes it an 8.
Okay.
All right, anybody else on 15? Come on, what? All right, here we go. 17. Now everybody should look at that. Everybody do me a favor and just rewrite it as the square root of 16 over the square root of 3. And what's the square root of 16?
4.
So now I have 4 over square root of 3. We're allowed to have square roots in the denominator. From Friday, we learned we have to do what? That's correct. We have to multiply the top and bottom by square root of 3. So we end up with 4 radical 3 over what? Over 3. 4 radical 3 over 3. Any questions with that? All right, let's pause. All right, so for number 19, anytime you see a fraction, you should try to reduce it. All right, so everybody should be able to look at that and say that's 1 over 2 radical 2. That is not the answer, of course. How did I get that? Well, that was hard because I just reduced 3/6 to 1/2, right? And then the square root of 5 and square root of 10, technically I should put a square root of 1 on the top. And then you can see that 5 over 10 reduces to square root of 1 over square root of 2. But we know that square root of 1 is just 1, so that doesn't matter.
I'm confused because put the square root of 10 on the bottom and the top.
No, we did not do that. I reduced the fraction first. It'll make life easier if you reduce the fraction first. You see what I'm saying? I reduce, watch. I reduce the 5 to a 1 and the 10 to a 2. Just like I reduced the 3 and the 6 to 1 and a 2. I'm reducing a fraction, that's it. Now I have a radical in the bottom. So now I have to continue by multiplying the top and bottom by square root of 2. So I end up with square root of 2 over 4. Because again, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. There's a number already on the outside. Anybody have any issues with that? That's kind of tricky. All right, look that over. Make a note to yourself. Yes. You can do it the hard way if you want. Go ahead. No, I'm not doing something the hard way. Reduce the fraction first. Always reduce the fraction first. Do it the long way if you want. Multiply the top and bottom by square root of 10 if you want. All right, here we go. Number 23. Again, same principle. All right. 8 works out to be what? Square root of 8 breaks down here to what? Finally, 10 radical 2. Oh, did I? Okay, we'll just do 23 anyway. All right. So 10 radical 2 minus what? 21 radical 2 plus 24 radical 2. Sounds like some of you getting pretty good at it by now. All right, it's really not that hard. All right, so my final answer here is what? Yes, 13 radical 2. All right, now let me find 21 real quick. Okay, you can again do it the long way, or you can do it the short way. All right, we have a fraction. Anytime you see a fraction, you should try to reduce it. Square root of 2 over the square root of 50 is the same as square root of 1 over the square root of 25. And the square root of 1 is just what? And square root of 25 is 5. There you have it. Good with that? Or go ahead and multiply the top and bottom by square root of 50. See how much fun you'll have. All right, now we're on 25.
Okay, so on 21, I got the square root of 1 over square root of 25, but then I multiplied by the square root of
I'm sorry you did that. You should be able to say the square root of 1 is 1 and the square root of 25 is 5. What are we doing? Yeah, it doesn't matter what you thought, remember?
Multiply the top by square root of 25.
Feel free to do that.
How did that work? If you do that, you get a different answer.
Okay, so let me go ahead for those that are, no, hard-headed is the right word. All right, you're gonna go ahead and multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 25, and we'll get the square root of 25 over the square root of 625. Square root of 25 is 5, square root of 625 is 25. That reduces to 1/5. What's the difference? Shh, you're right.
When you multiply
Nothing.
square roots, it equals like a number. So
Yes, so if you don't want to put square root of 625, just put 25.
yeah.
And then the square root of 25 is what? 5. 5 over 25. 1 over 5. You're welcome. Here we go. 25. Now, again, we've done 108 a bunch of times. So 108, we all know, is now right. There you go. So it's 36 times 3. X to the 10th. Now, y to the 9th needs to be broken down to y to the 8th times y. Please review that. All right. That's the first time we've had exponents. All right. And again, exponents, you're always dividing by 2. All right. From there, what's the square root of 36? Square root of x to the 10th. And then y to the 8th. And then you are left behind the 3y. Yep. Again, nothing difficult. Nothing difficult. Hopefully in your head, you remember 108 is 36 times 3. That's a common problem. All right. And now, of course, 27 is not so bad. -2 radical 7. All right, please flip the page. I'm going to put it on pause for a minute and continue with the odds. All right, go. All right, let's do. All right, let's see how you did with 29. All right, so 4 radical 75 breaks down to what? Thank you. 20 radical 3. It should be kind of that easy. Minus what? Minus what?
10 radical.
10 radical 3 plus what? Shh, shh, shh.
15 radical three.
15 radical 3. All right, just double check your work. All right, and if you're having trouble, just remember 75 is 3 times 25, 4 times 3, 9 times 3. Then you break them down from there. All right, so my final answer worked out to be what? 25 radical 3. All right, any issues? All right, let's check out 31. Okay, now remember, these are the ones I don't want you to multiply 35 times 14. I want you to see what's in here and what's in here. 7. All right, so if you need to, you can write 7 times 5, 7 times 2, and then these two 7s come out as a what? 7, and what's left behind? A 10. Come on, that's just easy now. All right, you don't want to multiply. The numbers get big and you have to break them down. All right, break them down at first. Anybody have any issues with that? All right, here we go. 33. What are we thinking here? Right, there's a common 7, so it becomes 6 radical 7 minus 15 radical 7. Any issues? So my final answer here is how much? -9 radical 7. Yes, sir. You sure? All right, thank you. All right, now let's look at 35 when we do a multiplication. Now, what happens in the middle term? I'd really like everybody to look at this and say the middle term just what? Cancels out, so it makes it much easier. All right, so everybody should be able to say, okay, 6 times 6 is what? 36. And then, of course, here and here, if you forget, it's just minus 24 and plus 24. Now, please be careful with this. Negative times a positive is a what? Now, come on. 4 times 4, 16. Square root of 2 times square root of 2, 2. 16 times 2. Anybody have any issues with that? Anybody? All right, go ahead. I'm listening. Tell me, come on.
Where did the 2 and the radical 2 and the other radical 2 is?
Okay, so if I say radical 2 times radical 2, what does that equal? Take a shot at it. What's square root of 2 times square root of 2?
Oh, 2.
Right. And then 4 times 4 was what?
16.
So that became 16 times 2.
Nice.
And that equals 32. So after all that, it was a 4. Okay, good. Anybody else have an issue? All right, let's find 37. All right, now let's practice the little formula for this. All right, so 3 times 3, 9. Now remember, the middle term when you're squaring a binomial is this times this, which is -3 radical 7, and then you multiply that by 2. So what does that become? -6 radical 7. Then it would be +7. Thank you very much. That is correct. Now, for some reason you don't like that, it's okay. Just write 3 minus radical 7 times 3 minus radical 7. And then 3 times 3 is 9. There's -3 radical 7, -3 radical 7, and so on. and then this times this. All right, now be careful. It's not 9 minus 7, but what? 9 plus 7. So it's 16 minus 6 radical 7. Is everybody okay with that? Anybody have any issues? Okay, 39 from Friday. Who remembers what to do on 39? Tell me, good.
Get 2 minus 6, or 2 minus 3 radical 6.
Thank you very much, sir. That is correct. You multiply by the conjugate.
Negative 10 plus 15 radical 6.
Hold up a second. All right, so once again, guys, make sure if you don't know, all right, we just multiplied the top and bottom by what's referred to as the conjugate. All right. The reason why you do that is because what will happen to the middle term down here? It will cancel, and then the radical will be gone. All right, so now Trey, that was very good. So tell me the top, the numerator, buddy.
Negative 10 plus 15 radical 6.
That is perfect so far. Exactly.
Then on the bottom, 4 plus 4 minus 9 times 6.
Exactly. Stop there for a second. Very nice. That is perfect. Because again, the middle term canceled out. All right, listen, and I'm looking around the room, and some of you, I feel like you're just writing things down. You should try it. Okay, so now we end up with negative 10 plus 15 radical 6 over what?
Over negative 50.
4 minus 54, right?
Yeah.
So negative 50. So now what can happen? Well, we could, but there's a common what? Here, here, and here. I can reduce by 5. Now better reduce by negative 5. That takes the negative out of the denominator.
So it would be 2
2.
minus 3 radical 6. And on the bottom, you have 10.
Exactly. That is correct. All right. So that's hard. All right. For whatever reason, there's just a lot of math there. So make sure you look that over. All right. If you left the negative on the bottom, I really wouldn't care, but then the 2 would be negative and 3 would be positive. All right. That takes practice. All right. Here we go. Now 41. How do I want you writing this? On the top, it would be square root of 28. And on the bottom, it would be, now again, you should never look at the square root of 28 and say square root of 28. You should automatically make that what?
7 radical 2.
7 radical 2 or 2 radical?
2 radical
2 radical 7 over what? Square root of 5. So now what do I have to do?
Gotta put square root of 5 on the top and the bottom.
Yes, sir. Square root of 5, square root of 5. So what do I have? Two radical 35. Very good. Over 5. All right, everybody's good with that? All right, here we go. Let's pause for a minute and see if you understand now.